Gordon's up. He says, "Hey guys, thank you very much again for your help here on Hump-Days. Hopefully I'll be able to somehow return the favor at a future time." Gordon, the way that you can return the favor is go out and just crush it and make a shit ton of money and then report back to us with your results. That's the only thing we ask out of you to repay us, right? Is just go crush it and report back to us with your results. And that would be all the payment that we need for all the help that we provide you, right? So, other than the typical things, what would one look at to figure out in advance whether a specific GMB 3-pack was very difficult or easy to get into? And how would you determine where on the difficulty scale it was between those two opposite ends of the spectrum? Thanks a lot. Well, Gordon, for me, it's relatively easy to determine, in my opinion, how much of a dogfight it's going to be, if one at all, to rank in the maps pack by just doing a really simple local analysis. And I use Bright Local, guys, as my tool, and I have since I think 2012, maybe even 2011, but I've been using Bright Local ever since then. It's the only tool that I use to track all of my local projects, my client projects, and my own lead gen projects. I do about 90% of all of my client reporting comes from client reports generated through Bright Local. And Bright Local has recently, as if you're on a higher level subscription plan with them, they've got a ton of additional features that they've in the last 6 months have rolled out. And I think they're continuing to add more and more. Like, for example, inside Bright Local, for each client dashboard now, you have the ability to connect to Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Facebook, review and reputation monitoring, Twitter, like all these different things that you can connect to, and it will automatically pull in information from all those different sources and create it in a client dashboard, an overall report. So it's beautiful, because what I used to have, I used to do this myself, and then I trained a VA earlier around the beginning of this year. I finally trained a VA to generate all the client reports for me. And she was going out and going to all the different, like going to analytics, taking a screenshot, going to Search Console, taking a screenshot, going to Bright Local, generating each individual report, like the local rankings report, the citation report, all of that. And she'd compile all of these things into a text file for each client, like it would be one text file separated by each client, and it would have all the links to each report that I would send out. And then she'd send them to me, and then I would send out a personalized email to each client with all the report links. And then for most all of my clients, I do a monthly video, email with basically it's me going over each of the reports and showing what's been done, improvements that have been made, opportunities that are been discovered within the last month, and that kind of stuff. And so, but now the reason I started telling you all that is because now all of it can be done right in the Bright Local dashboard. It's so super simple, easy. And so for me, when I go to assess like the competition level of a new or a prospective project that I'm going to be working on, I just go right into Bright Local. I add a new location, new business. I go ahead and enter in the details of maybe the top level business. Like if it's something new that I'm going to be like, if I'm just trying to determine competition level, then I'll just go do a keyword search for my primary keyword in that location. I'll pull up the #1 maps listing and then enter those business details in the Bright Local and generate a report. And that way I can go in and take a look at, it'll give you competition analysis based upon the business that you entered, right? So it'll do a full report based upon the business that you enter, and will show you competitors. It will show you the number of citations, the number of reviews, the number of backlinks, the citation authority, domain, like all these different things that you can look at. And it gives you a quick snapshot, right? That you can say, okay, for example, the client that I was just talking about earlier, that's shown here in this screenshot here, that I'm doing the local GMB Pro case study for, I was able to determine in about 20 minutes when he reached out to me, and I told him that he was a client referral. And so we talked on the phone briefly, and then I said, okay, I'm going to generate a report. I'm going to do an analysis, and then I'll send you a video email explaining what I found and where I see opportunity, and then basically a proposal explaining what I'm proposing as deliverables and the scope of work and that kind of stuff. And so I entered in that company's name, ran a report through Bright Local, and I got back, about 10 or 15 minutes later when the report was done generating. I was able to open it up and look and see very, very quickly that was as far as like maps SEO stuff, there's very little competition for this niche. And so I told this guy, I was like, oh man, this should be one of my this we shouldn't have any problem being able to get you results, is the way that I worded it. And so again, Gordon, I recommend that you go, you don't have to use Bright Local. I recommend it. That's the only one I've ever used, so I really don't have anything to compare it to. But because I've always been happy with it. So, but I'm sure there's other tools out there or services that can do something similar, but I highly recommend you just use Bright Local. Once you go in there and you generate the reports, you'll be able to see, like, one of the things they have is local search audit. That's a report that you can generate. They have a Google My Business report. So there's all different kinds of reports you can generate. And in fact, when you add the one client or the location information, you can click one button and it will generate all those reports, right, for you. So like, you can literally have a whole suite of reports that monitors just about every aspect of that business. And you can go through and look at all the competition levels and determine, okay, look, the top 3 listings average somewhere around maybe 60 citations, right? And so now, okay, well, if I've got a site that's connected, it's well optimized, and I can go out and get maybe 75 citations, I may be able to win that one, right? So there's just, again, just very, I would use something like that that's going to make your analysis a lot quicker. I know people go into some real deep dive analysis. I don't. I'm all about trying to be efficient. And so I'll use a tool like Bright Local to produce all the reports for me. Then I just spend a few minutes analyzing the reports and then making a decision as to what I think it's going to take. And then that's how I pitch my proposal. Okay. Great question, though.